This is a world where you can only smile. You can't smile or you die. You listen to what the woman says with a smile on her face.
Mom is dead. Sorry. Smile, smile, smile. That's not even funny.
The woman goes on to say that your father is dead, your whole family is dead, and all your friends are dead. She squeezed out a big smile and kept pleading with the other person to smile too. But the sign behind the man turns into a crying face. The robot beside them also changed its face. They rushed up and hugged her. A swarm of miniature robots emerged from the roof and surrounded them. The next second, they wrapped around the woman and turned her into white bones.
No, I'm smiling. Smiling.
She still couldn't escape the robots. When the two were cleared, the robots turned back to their cute smiling faces. They killed all the unhappy people and turned the place into a slaughterhouse of smiling people. But two people came here to travel. The doctor and Annie heard that this is a travel mecca, a happy paradise for humans after 1,000 years. They mastered the code of happiness to be happy every day. They came and felt that it was really beautiful and rich. There were big houses everywhere. Strangely enough, there was not a single person. There was always a swarm of miniature robots floating in the sky, following people like bees. They were walking around the empty city. They met a robot who offered to greet them. When he saw Annie waving, his expression changed to one of fondness. Annie praised him for being so cute. The robot gave each of them a blank badge. One side of the badge had an expression, but the side facing you is always blank, so that the user cannot see what is shown. Doctor and Annie look at each other's badges. Both of them don't understand. They guessed that it was something to show their mood. As soon as they touched the badge on their own body, it slipped to the back and stuck tightly to it. After both of them put on the badge, the robot led them to the front, gave them each a plate of blue squares. It seems to be treating them to dinner. This blue jelly smells like fish. It tastes like seaweed. It seems that the future people have given up on cooking. The two stayed for a long time, but did not see a trace of human. Why is that? The doctor guesses it's because people haven't arrived yet. The robots were sent first. The humans are waiting for the construction to be completed before coming back. They wandered through the beautiful environment. They came to the garden and found a strange fertilizer here. When they opened the warehouse, they saw that it was full of white bones. The fertilizer here is made of ground-up human bones. It seems that there were people here originally. These were probably the advanced team that came to build this place, but for some reason, they all died. The doctor and Annie immediately tried to run. They see a crying robot stop them. They go around the robot. The robot immediately turned into a killing expression. Big pile of human bones fell out of the fertilizer box. They are the fertilizer for the alien vegetables. They were finely ground into powder and sprayed on every green plant. This was supposed to be a paradise built by humans themselves. How could this happen? The doctor and Annie realized something was wrong and ran. By a crying robot rotten. When they got around the robot's cute face turned into a murderous expression. He summoned countless robots to block the passage of the doctor and the two. Wherever they went, there were robots blocking the doctor. They have been on the planet for a long time. Why did the robots attack them at this time? The doctor thought of the emoji badge the robots had given him. He understood that they wanted people to keep smiling. If they didn't smile, they would be made into fertilizer. He told Annie to smile right away. He told her there was a problem with the robots' programming. They were trying to make her happy.
Would massacring hundreds of people make me happy?
How would massacring hundreds of people make me happy? Smiley face.
Smiley face.
Two of them faked smiles at the robots and barely managed to get by. After running outside the house, they were followed by a large group of miniature robots. There was no more danger until they got out of town. The doctor planned to go back and blow up the smiling slaughterhouse to prevent humans from being brutally murdered when they come afterwards.
They're expecting the new Garden of Eden. What they are not expecting is to be the fertilizer.
When the doctor returned to the City of Smiles, he shouted, "I'm happy. I'm happy," when he saw the robots. The robot also became giggling. He cracked the secret of the miniature robots. They will be everywhere because they are the building itself. So as long as they're in this environment, they're not safe. They need to find a real wall. Since this is a human settlement, then there will be a spaceship. Once they find the ship, they'll find more secrets. They found an awkwardly painted door. They found a door with an awkwardly painted wing. When they pressed the switch, the door opened. Inside is full of metal pipes and steel. Very retro. It is hard to imagine how humans use this aviation. After the two entered the ship, all the robots were alerted to their actions. The two doctors found a map to know the location of the engine. Using the engine can blow up the place. The doctor told Annie to look at the map to show himself how to act. He was going to blow up the engine. The doctor went to the engine and operated it, but he couldn't do it by himself. Call Annie to help. Annie was on her way, surprised to see the first living person here. This robot is made to make people laugh, but as soon as people don't laugh, he turns them into white bones and throws them into the garden as fertilizer. He was chasing the doctor who found out the truth. The two of them came to the door of the spaceship. Once they swiped their faces, they enter the door. The doctor who was adjusting the ship's engine. He saw the robot's reflection. The doctor knocked him down, but the robot grabbed his foot. The robot grabbed his foot and tried to pull him off the platform. The robot looked as if it would not give up. The doctor took the engine pipe and pointed the hot jet at the robot and drove him off the platform. The doctor inserted iron money into the engine to destroy his operation, letting it blow back up the city soon. He ran out as fast as he could, surprised to find humans here.
My very good people, we will soon be beginning an emergency disembarkation. Good people, please prepare for disembarkation.
Doctor's eyes were filled with dormant pods. It turns out he was wrong. The immigrants hadn't arrived yet. Rather, they had entered a dormant state. They were activated only when they entered the ship. Then his attempt to blow up the place to save the people became a massacre that killed the last of the humans.
The ship is on the way. It's right here. The colonists are all around us, cryogenically frozen. What's in those pots, Bill? Is the surviving population of Earth.
Doctor encounters more people who have just woken up from their hibernation pods. He asks them never to leave the ship. He asks them to never leave the ship and to go elsewhere to figure out what to do. They come to the body of an old man, knowing everything that happened. At first, it was a new world full of happiness, but since the old man died, everything has changed. No one had passed away before her, so there hasn't been a lot of sadness here. And the robot's duty is to ensure that people are happy, and see sadness as the enemy of happiness. So they made all the sad people clear. More and more people died. People's panic could not be contained, but the robots killed all the people. The doctor told the awakened people about this discovery.
Wanted to eliminate unhappiness, but to a robot, that meant eliminating unhappy people. They gave you monitors, badges, so they'd know when you were too unhappy to live.
When people found out that their loved ones had been killed, they rushed to the armory in anger. They wanted to fight with the robots. The doctor tried to dissuade them. The robots themselves are not evil, and this place is made up of robots. It's hard for them to win. People don't care about that. They rushed to the house and saw a little boy surrounded by two bad-looking robots. The boy couldn't find his mother and shed tears of grief. The robots around him quickly changed their faces, but it was broken by the people with guns. The rest of the robots kept changing their expressions. The doctor realizes that the robot has emotions. He was angry for his fellow robots. He summoned an overwhelming number of miniature robots to seek revenge on the humans. The doctor removed the damaged robot's head and used props to alter its wiring, reset the robot's system and memory. The robots would no longer force people to smile, but they will think they are the original inhabitants of this place and humans are the outsiders. The doctor urges people to live in peace with the robots. The robots are the boss here. If there are any difficulties, smile more often. The doctor also acted as a mediator between robots and humans. Persuade the robots to accept humans. Can also charge them rent. Once you hear the rent, the robot's eyes were full of happiness. The matter of the smiling slaughterhouse was solved. The doctor went back to space. The setting of the story is interesting. People want to achieve extreme happiness, not allowed to have negative emotions, instead have extreme tragic results. What do you think of this plot?